What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Appreciate Greatness, man. Today we are doing the draft recap and grading NBA teams' drafts, man. I'm very excited. I love talking about the draft. It's probably my favorite thing. I got some upcoming videos about non-draft related stuff. Do not worry. It's not going to be draft for this whole off season, obviously. I'm really excited about the upcoming video I have. It's going to take 1 to 2 weeks, maybe. It may take less. It just depends on how I edit it and the directions I go with certain things. I'm trying to do something really cool for y'all, and it may take some time, so just be patient with me. But let's hop right into it, man. So the first two teams, the Knicks and the Sixers, didn't have a pick, no grades. The third team, the Chicago Bulls, is the first team we'll cover. I gave them a C minus. I tried to entirely take out the Vucevic trade when grading the Bulls, but that's really hard. So I kind of graded a little bit off that, but also Julian Phillips, wing out of Tennessee, 35th pick, good upside. Maybe you can have the kind of rookie breakout that Ayo Dosunmu had. Probably not. I just think, the Bulls scare me with developing talent. And Julian Phillips is a guy that needs developing, but he's still very young, so it's very doable for them. Next team I have is the Suns, and the way I'm going on this order is I found a article, and it is called USA Today. It's on USA Today. It sucks. Do not read it. It's bad. But I just went in the order they had. And so the Suns are the second team, and they drafted Toumani Camara out of Dayton, 52nd overall, and he's a solid player. I think he didn't have too much production in college, but he's a solid defender. He can shoot the three a little bit, stretch the floor. He's like 6'8" power forward, I would say. And Phoenix just needs anything off the bench. I give him a C minus, as I said. I think I said, maybe. I probably said it. But they just need anything off the bench. Any bench production can help, and I think Camara is a guy who can give you 10-ish minutes on a time-to-time basis. Next team, Celtics. I give them an A minus. They made a ton of trades, did a ton of moving around, got a ton of future picks, got Porzingis, and they still ended up with a great value pick at 38 in Jordan Walsh. This kid is outstanding. He's a great defender. The offense is developing. He's got long arms. He's a really good player. I'm really excited about seeing him in a Celtics uniform. And I mean, we traded so many guys and get so many picks and get a quality guy still in the second round. I think that's fantastic. Brad Stevens did an excellent job. Now the Kings. I actually left this alone. I'm going to give them probably an A minus. A minus. They traded Richaun Holmes in their first at 25, I think, and that freed up about $10 million, I think, in cap, and that gives them $30 million in free cap. So they can make a move in free agency, get some depth, maybe get a splash. I don't know what that would look like, but after the year they had, getting more depth, getting maybe a rim protector in free agency of some sort, that could really help them. And the reason I'm giving them an A minus is because they got Colby Jones at 34, who's a guy I could have seen him taking at 25. I think is where they were. No, that was the Grizzlies. So 24. Colby Jones is that Josh Hart type guy, Big East guy. I said this in my favorite players draft. He's a Big East guy. He does everything on the court. He's a good scorer. He probably won't be as good. He's a good 3-point shooter, great rebounder for his size, good playmaker for his position. I think he is exactly what Josh Hart was coming out of Villanova, except Colby Jones is coming out of Xavier. They also got Jalen Swanson, who's just more of a point forward type guy out of Furman, who made the run in the March Madness. Not really a run, just won a game over Virginia in March Madness, and he had a really good year. He's a really interesting, intriguing guy, because I could see a lot of these second round picks turning out and turning into good players in the future. Next team we have here is the Cavs, so I gave a C minus too. They took a guy high upside in Emoni Bates at 49. He's interesting. I mean, taking a guy second round, who has a lot of upside. I'm never going to hate on that, but I feel like there are a lot of guys that could help him right now, Jalen Slauson that I just talked about, that were still on the board. So it's an interesting pick. I mean, I think Amani Bates is still, he's got a long way to go, and I think he weighs 170 pounds. It's just, he's not a guy I would like on my team, and so I think a C- is warranted. I could see them, though. I could see him turning into a great player. Right now, I don't like the pick. Next team I have is the Memphis Grizzlies, who I give an A- to. Getting G.G. Jackson at 45. If you would have told me coming into the draft they would take G.G. Jackson at 25, I would have still given it probably a B+, maybe an A-. At 45, getting a guy like G.G. Jackson, when you're known to develop guys like that, incredible. They also got Tariq. I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name. I had never heard of him. And they went out and got him. I think he's a draft and stash guy. I read. He'll probably be draft and stashed for a year. 6'6" wing out of Turkey, I believe. And I think the 25th pick was a part of the Marcus Smart trade, and I love the trade. So A- for the Grizzlies. Next team is the Warriors. I give them a B. And the reason I give them a B is I like 19. I like drafting Brandon Podziemski. I think that's your Jordan Poole replacement. He's a good scorer. He's a decent defender. He's not a decent defender. He's a bad defender, but he's not worse than Jordan Poole. And you also get Trayce Jackson-Davis, who's the type of guy I could see the Warriors just turning into a good player. That's just what it is. I think he's one of those guys, like an Eric Pascal. He could really be versatile. He's a super, super good athlete. He needs to add something to his game to be good at the next level. Next team, Los Angeles Lakers, and as much as I hate to do it, I gave them an A+. Getting JHS at 17 is already a little bit of a steal. I love that pick. I think that's a very smart pick. I think that's a great way to go. But the big thing I have is Maxwell Lewis at 40. If you would have told me they took Maxwell Lewis at 17, I would have been like, okay. They got him at 40. This is a guy who, good scorer, not a great defender as of right now, but he's got the length. I didn't love him that much, but the more and more I've heard people talk about him, the more and more I'm like, okay, I can see that, I can see this, I can see this. He's got really great potential to be a really great player. They got him at 40. I liked him at late 20s, and they got him at 40. I think that was an outstanding pick. I think it was an outstanding draft for the Lakers. Next is the Los Angeles Clippers, and I give them a B. One pick, Kobe Brown at 30. Kobe Brown, you're going to hear a lot of old jokes about Kobe Brown. I really like him. You know, he's a 44% three-point shooter in college. He's like 6'6", 240 or 230. He's built well. He does everything on the court. He's a winner. He's a great guy to have on your team if you're the Los Angeles Clippers. The Brooklyn Nets had 3 picks. At 21, they went Noah Clowney. 22 was Dariq Whitehead. And 51, they got Jalen Wilson. And they're all very safe picks, you know, just hitting a single, sacrifice bunt and moving over, hit another single, right? Maybe a double with Jalen Wilson, but you get Noah Clowney, good, has stretch for potential, good player. Dariq Whitehead's great shooter. You know, the injuries, he lost some explosiveness. Maybe you're hoping to get that back, but Jalen Wilson really carries the grade of a B here for them. And the reason I say that is I had him maybe sneaking in the first round, high 30s at max for him, and they got him at 51. He's a winning player, and that's kind of what they did this draft. They just got all winning players, and they have a solid team, just the definition of a solid team over there. And I really like the Nets this year. Next team is the Bucks, who Andre Jackson Jr., who I've been calling Dollar Tree Ben Simmons, and Chris Livingston, who we weren't expecting to get, you know, not get drafted, but enter the draft, and he did. And B+. I give him a B+ because I really like the Andre Jackson Jr. pick. Chris Livingston, it's weird. The whole thing is weird, so we're going to move on. The Nuggets, A-. Julian Strawther at 29. He's another guy. He's the perfect prototypical guy. He is another guy who is going to help them in the playoffs next year. He's going to be fantastic for them. Jalen Pickett, he's a guard and a forward's body. He loves the post up. He loves the mid range. He's a really good player, really effective player. And then they went Hunter Tyson, who I'm not a big fan of, out of Clemson. I'm not a huge fan of him. I think the Nuggets, if anyone was going to turn him into a great player, it'd be the Nuggets. But I'm pretty low on that pick. If it was just Julian Strawther and Jalen Pickett, it's probably an A+ for me. But Hunter Tyson drops the grade a little bit for me. The Wolves, I give them a B+. They went Leonard Miller at 33, Jalen Clark at 53. I'm a big Jalen Clark fan, even though I think he tore his ACL. And Leonard Miller at 33, I had him, late 20s, early 20s, maybe even 16-ish, maybe even 12. And he went 33rd. I think the Wolves did a great job. I think he's kind of like that Jaden McDaniels guy, just without the jumper. May handle the ball a little better. I really like Leonard Miller. Jalen Clark is kind of that Jalen Noel type guy, just, a little better defensively. Next is the Wizards, who I gave a B. Two really high upside picks, and Tristan Vukcevic, I think is how you say it. Not Vucevic or Vucevic. It's like Vukcevic. And Bilal Coulibaly. I like them. I like trading up and getting your guy. And I like taking high upside guys. I really like Bilal. Tristan's more of a pick to me. I gave him a B, a solid B. The Magic I gave a C+. And I preach, reach to get your guy. They reached to get Anthony Black a little bit. I wouldn't really even call it a reach. I actually really like Anthony Black at 6. And a lot of people complain about my phone just emailed me and said a 20% battery, and it made me jump. It scared me. A lot of people complain about, they have so many guards. And the next team we're going to get into, you're going to hear that same complaint about. But I don't think that matters, especially when the Magic are so far away. I wouldn't say so far, but they're still, they got a ways to go to get into the playoff discussion. So Anthony Black at 6, I'm perfectly fine with. Jet Howard at 11 is where I don't like it. You had Jordan Hawkins and Grady Dick, two better shooters on the board. They don't have the length or the size. They don't have the size that Jet Howard does. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a Michigan connection that the Orlando Magic have. I just don't love that pick at all for the Orlando Magic. All right, so the Thunder, like I was saying, you kind of have a logjam at guard here now. You went Cason Wallace at 10, Keontae Johnson at 50. I like Cason Wallace. You're getting a dog, right? Defensively, he's a dog. He gets steals. He guards the ball well. It's interesting with all the guards they have already. A- for them. Keontae Johnson, decent shooter last year in college. I think he's got potential to be a decent shooter. Really good athlete. Maybe there's something there with him. I don't hate it for the Thunder. I actually really like it. I think, getting your guy is important, but something has to give by way of, probably trade. And trades can always be made. So take the best player available. In my opinion, that's the best way to do it. The Heat, I gave a B. Their only pick was Jaime Jaquez at 18. And Jaime's a winning player. That's just what he is. They're also already getting their undrafted guys. So I like the draft for him. It's decent, it's fine with me, The Pels, I gave an A. Getting Jordan Hawkins at 14 after Jet Howard and Grady Dick had already been taken, and you still get, in my opinion, the best strict shooter, that's an A for me. I mean, that's awesome for them. They needed shooting, they got it. The Raptors, I gave a B. And the reason is, you lose Fred VanVleet. So in my mind, I'm picturing, let's trade Pascal, or let's, rebuild with Pascal on the roster still. Instead, they go Grady Dick, which to me is more of a we're trying to compete right now kind of pick, instead of, let's rebuild and take a Kobe Buffkin here. And I would have loved Kobe Buffkin on this team even. But Grady Dick, great shooter, we know. What's the ceiling? There's not a high ceiling. You already have a guy in OG who I think ceiling is even higher than Grady Dick's. They play the same position. It's just a weird pick to me, so I give it a B. At the end of the day, I like, you're getting shooting. I like that you're getting shooting, and Grady Dick's a great shooter. So what is it? And he had a crazy tuxedo on, and I said tuxedo suit on, and it's interesting. The Hawks, I gave an A- to. Getting Kobe Buffkin, that's exactly what I wanted them to do. He's gonna be a 6-man this first year, maybe not. He'll probably ease into the 6-man role. He's got a lot of Shea to him, like early, probably 2020 bubble Shea. You get Mohamed Gee, who has great touch around the rim, good athlete, 7 foot. I would say he's like a 7-foot power forward. I really like that pick. He's developable. And then Seth Lundy, who in the second round is the best 3-and-D pick that you can possibly get. I really like that. The Jazz, A+. Getting Taylor Hendricks at 9. Prototypical stretch 4, can block shots, hit the 3, and he said on a few interviews that he can put the ball on the ground more than he showed in college. So I'm very interested in seeing that. Keontae George at 16, who we know can really score, showed flashes of great defense, showed flashes of good playmaking. And then Bryce Sensabaugh, who fell due to medical reasons at 28. We know he can score. A lot to be desired defensively, but this is an A+ draft for the Jazz. Getting 3 guys who got a lot of room to develop and are good players and good prospects. I love it. The Pistons, I gave them a B. I'm not too bought in on Ausar yet. He's got the ceiling. I know he's going to make me eat my words. He's got a high ceiling. I just think alongside Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, it would have been awesome to see a guy like Jarris Walker instead of Ausar, but I can also see the world where you're going Cade, Jaden Ivey, Ausar, Bogdanovich, Duren. And in that case, I actually really like that lineup, so maybe it's a B+, A- type draft. Marcus Sasser at 25, winning type of player, defensive. He's going to lead you on the court as the point guard. Going to be good off the bench for them as an old point guard coming out of college. Good leader. I really like that pick. So yeah, I would give the Pistons about an A- type grade. The Pacers. This is where a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me. I give the Pacers an A+. And the reason why, Jarris Walker, perfect fit with the Pacers. Perfect pick. Ben Shepherd, great shooter. He's a fantastic player. Mojave King, a lot of upside, decent player. Isaiah Wong is going to be like that Nembhard, right, that we saw last year as a rookie. I think he's got win now potential. And the Pacers are a team who are trying to win now, and they got a lot of guys, 3 guys, in my opinion, who can help you win now. I think that's an A+ draft. Next is the Mavericks. Derek Lively at 12, Olivier Maxime Prosper at 24, A+. Maxime Prosper, a guy who can switch, guard all 5 positions, developing offensive game, and game by game you saw it get better at Marquette. And then Derek Lively is that guy who, in the pick and roll, is going to be great with Luka, go up and catch lobs and block shots and protect the paint. I love that. Charlotte Hornets, I gave an A. Brandon Miller at 2, Nick Smith Jr. at 27, James Najee at 31, and Amari Bailey at 41. Brandon Miller, I would like to see him go scoot. Getting Brandon Miller is awesome. I think he's going to be great. Nick Smith Jr. as a 6-man is going to be fantastic, or even in the future filling what Terry Rozier does, just to an even greater extent, because he falls to 27 strictly due to injuries. He's a fantastic player. I think he's better than 27. I think he's probably a top 10 player in this draft at the end of the day if he doesn't get hurt. I don't know why my voice did that. It is 3 a.m., by the way, so I just want to point that out there. James Najee, I think one of the youngest players in the draft, and he looks like a 25-year-old man already. He's just super built, super strong, good athlete, gonna be a lob threat. I think he's, developable. I keep using that. Developable, because it's fun to say. I don't think it's a word, but it's fun to say, and I'm going to keep using it. Amari Bailey shot really good at UCLA, shot the three well, and that's something that was questioned. Like that was his question mark. Without Jalen Clark, he was fantastic. I think that's an underrated guy. I think you're getting a very good player in Amari Bailey. I hate that he's going to a team that already has LaMelo, Terry Rozier, James Bouknight, now Nick Smith Jr. and Amari. I wish he could have gone to a different team, but who would have allowed him to play more? But I can't really complain too much. Houston Rockets, A+. Amen and Cam Whitmore. Cam falls to you because of medicals. Amen is just a uber athlete, going to be a great project. Cam Whitmore, safe pick in my opinion. At 20, dude, he's a safe pick at 5 for me. He at 20, come on. I don't have any more to say, honestly. I mean, just a great, fantastic. Get out of there with 2 of the top 5 best players in the draft. Come on. The Blazers, I give them an A-. You get Scoot alongside Dame, but you have Anthony already. It's just weird. That's pretty much the whole reason I gave them an A-, because that whole situation is just weird. I love the Chris Murray pick. I love Ryan Rupert at 43, Chris Murray at 23. I love it, other than just the weird situation. I love Scoot. I think Scoot's going to be a hell of a player. It's just a weird situation. And then the Spurs, A+, you get Vic. And then at 44, you get City Sissoko, who I think is a steal. Great playmaker, great potential. I love it. Alright, man, I hope y'all enjoyed. This video recorded again at 3 a.m. So it was probably a little, shaky. And I was probably not on my A game, but I hope y'all enjoyed anyway. I've had a lot of fun doing these and making these, and I've pushed a lot of videos out lately just because I've been having so much fun, and y'all have been showing support. I got 100 views on a video for the first time. That was an awesome milestone to hit. And it's all about mini milestones on the way to a bigger goal, right? And so I hope y'all have enjoyed. If I make one of y'all day, like I be saying, then that makes me happy, you know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.